Welcome to Where We Listen, where every story has value and every experience has meaning. Today, we're sharing the story of a young boy who grew up in poverty but found a way to transform his life through one powerful skill: learning English. From struggling to make ends meet to eventually earning a well-paying job, his journey is a testament to the power of perseverance and the belief that education can open doors, even when it feels impossible. How did mastering a new language change his life? Let's listen.
I was born in a small, rural village where life was tough and opportunities were few. My family didn't have much. We lived in a simple house made of wood with a dirt floor and a roof that leaked whenever it rained. We didn't complain, though. We were used to living with less. My parents worked hard every day just to keep food on the table, doing odd jobs, but no matter how hard they tried, we were always scraping by. I remember the nights most vividly. After a long day of school and helping my parents in the fields, I would sit by the flickering candlelight, trying to do my homework. We didn't have electricity, and textbooks were scarce. Sometimes, I'd share a single book with 5 or 6 other students. But even with all the challenges, I loved learning. It felt like a way out, a chance to break the cycle of poverty. But no matter how much I studied, I knew that the opportunities available in our village were limited. My older siblings had all dropped out of school to work. They told me I would have to do the same one day. Still, something inside me wouldn't give up. I believed that education could change my life. Everything changed the day our teacher introduced us to English. He wrote simple words on the board: apple, dog, sun. At first, it seemed like just another subject, but as I listened, something clicked in my mind. I didn't know exactly why, but I was drawn to the language. It felt like a bridge to a bigger world, a world far beyond the borders of our village. I became obsessed with learning English. I would stay after class, asking my teacher to help me with pronunciation and grammar. He had an old, worn-out English dictionary that he let me borrow. Every night, I would sit by the candlelight, carefully writing out each word and its meaning in a notebook. I knew that no one around me spoke English, but I didn't care. I wanted to master it. It wasn't easy, though. At first, my family didn't understand why I was so focused on learning a language no one else seemed to need. "Why are you wasting your time?" they'd ask. "You need to focus on real work, not this nonsense." Even my friends teased me, saying that I'd never use English here. But I ignored them. I knew, deep down, that English could open doors for me, even if I couldn't see those doors yet. As the years passed, I became more fluent. I started to see the world differently. While my friends focused on getting jobs in our village or nearby towns, I started dreaming of a future that looked different. I wanted to work for a company where I could use my English skills, maybe even travel to the city or beyond. I could almost feel the possibilities, even though they seemed so far away. One of the hardest parts was finding resources to keep learning. Our village had no internet access, and we didn't have a proper library. But I was resourceful. I found old magazines and newspapers that had been thrown away, and I would study the English words in them, trying to understand their meaning. Sometimes I would find a radio station that broadcasted in English. Even if I couldn't understand every word, I listened, repeating phrases to myself, practicing over and over. As I grew older, my English improved, but so did the pressure to quit school and help my family. They needed me to work, and I felt torn between my responsibility to them and my desire to continue my education. I remember one day when my father sat me down and told me, "We need you here. It's time to let go of those dreams." That moment broke me. I felt like my dream was slipping through my fingers. But deep down, I knew I couldn't give up. So I found a compromise. I worked during the day and studied English at night. It wasn't easy, but I kept going, holding on to the hope that one day, all this hard work would pay off. Then came the turning point. I heard about a job opening at a company in the city that required English speakers. It felt like a dream come true. I applied, not expecting much, but to my shock, I was called in for an interview. The interview was nerve-wracking. I had never been to a big city, and I felt out of place. But when they asked me questions in English, I answered with confidence. All those nights spent studying, all the struggles, had prepared me for this moment. I got the job. It wasn't a high-paying position at first, but it was a start. I moved to the city, leaving my village behind. With each day, I improved my English even more, working hard to climb the ladder at the company. Over time, I earned promotions and raises. The boy who once walked miles to school in worn-out shoes now had a good salary, a stable job, and the ability to support his family in ways he never thought possible. Looking back, I realized that learning English was the key to unlocking my future. It opened doors I didn't even know existed. And while the journey wasn't easy, it was worth every challenge, every setback, and every late night spent studying.
His story is a powerful reminder that education and determination can open doors, even when the odds seem stacked against you. Learning English not only gave him a skill, it gave him hope, confidence, and the opportunity to rewrite his future. So, what can we take away from this journey? Sometimes, it's not the circumstances you're born into, but the decisions you make along the way that define your success. Have you ever learned something that changed the course of your life? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks for tuning in to Where We Listen. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more real-life stories and life lessons. And if you have a story you'd like to share, send it to us at where.we.listen.official@gmail.com.